My name is Andrew, and this is Road Wrenching. Today, that beautiful bandsaw has finally kicked the bucket. In today's video, we're going to be setting up and reviewing this bandsaw from Harbor Freight. You can see this comes with a fancy sheet metal. It's garbage, okay? I built a better one. That's what you can see that bandsaw sitting on. And I was smart enough when I did that to design it to bolt to the bandsaw and not actually weld to the body of the bandsaw itself. So in theory, this bandsaw should go right onto that stand. Now, there's a lot of nuts and bolts. It takes some time to put this together, and I don't want to bore you with a long video that shows me putting bolts in a part. There's instructions with this. You guys will be fine, trust me. Let's do a 10-second build montage. That took a lot longer than I had originally anticipated. And part of that is because I had some help, as you saw, from my 3-year-old, which she is great and wonderful, but sometimes not always the fastest way to put equipment together. So it is all together now and ready to run a couple of test cuts. And we are going to cut some material and see how well this thing cuts, and then show you a little bit of how to kind of fine tune and set up the blade so that you're getting good, straight, clean cuts every single time. Let's dive in. One really cool feature that this saw has is right here, there is a indicator. And so you line up that face with these marks and you can get exactly the right degree of cut that you want. And for example, what we're going to be doing in the next video is we're gonna be building an RV gate. So if you're interested, definitely hit that subscribe button and you could be entered to win $100. I'll link that video up there. But when I go to build a gate, I want nice, clean, mitered corners. I can roll that right over to exactly 45 degrees, and then it'll cut exactly where I want it to. So on initial setup, it's not quite at 0. So we're gonna have to loosen, there are 2 bolts that go in up here. We're gonna have to loosen those up, adjust that plate just a little bit to get it to where it's exactly where it needs to be, and then we'll run a couple of cuts. Now that we are exactly at 0 degrees, we should make a perfectly straight cut, assuming the rest of the saw is set up correctly. There's gonna be minor tweaks and adjustments we can do with the guide rollers, and I'll show you that as it's needed. Let's jump in and make this cut. That was an excellent cut. And as you can see here, there's discoloration from this angled cut. This was done with a chop saw, which is actually, it's a grinding disc. So that was actually a grinding cut that made that one. And you can see the discoloration of the material and also this big flap of leftover material that has to be ground down before it's ready to be welded or assembled into any kind of a usable piece. This here, you can see a nice, clean, crisp cut. It's almost perfectly straight. There's a little bit of deviation off a straight right there, but it's so minor. It honestly is so close that I'm not even going to bother making any adjustments because I probably can't adjust it any better than that. At least not at this point. As I get better at using this, I will definitely update you guys on how I can improve. In any case, this is definitely the better way to cut. You can see I'm holding this. It's only been maybe a minute since it stopped cutting, and it's cool to the touch. It was a little bit warm to the touch when we started, and after a minute, it's room temperature. Whereas this, when it's ground, you can see how hot it got. It was, you had to let it sit for 10 or 15 minutes before you could touch it with bare hands. In any case, this is definitely the superior cut. This, not so much. Definitely worth the $300 tool. So to kind of wrap up and summarize, is the bandsaw from Harbor Freight worth the money? My answer is if you're gonna use it and you're cutting metal of any kind and you want a good clean cut, especially for any kind of fabrication, for what it costs, that's the most bang for your buck. It's an excellent tool. Obviously, I will update as the years go on and it gets more and more used. But for right now, today, I am very, very happy with this. Real quick, I'm gonna show you guys how to adjust the cutting head if you wanted to try to adjust to clean up that cut just a little bit more. So let's go do that real quick. To make any adjustments on the blade cut angle or any of that, simply loosen this bolt up and adjust the guide carriage, whichever direction you need it to, and it's the same thing on the top. It is very easy to adjust this tool, but there's no science really to it. You just have to make an adjustment, make a cut, and see if your adjustment made the cut better or worse, and then go from there. So it's a little bit of trial and error when making those adjustments. However, it's easy to do. It doesn't take a tremendous amount of time. And all in all, this saw is an excellent, excellent unit for the price. And I would highly, highly recommend purchasing it if you do any kind of metal fabrication or anything where you need to make good, clean cuts like this one here. Anyways, guys, that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. It really helps boost the channel. And if you are interested in this sort of content, definitely hit that subscribe button. And if you subscribe, there's a way you can win $100. I'll link that video right there. But guys, as always, thank you for watching till the end, and we'll see you guys in the next video.